welcome back to Ollie's ASMR World. It's Friday, the 18th of January, or the 19th, let's have a look. 19th of January, baby. Yes, and we're back. Just recorded my first video of the year. It's a ramble video, but it's going to go up after this one, I think, because let's just talk some football, eh? Let's get a football video out today and we can post the other one tomorrow, I guess. Anyway, we haven't talked about football for quite a while. It's a January transfer window. It don't feel like it though. Like, my club is Man United, as a lot of you know, more than likely. We ain't been linked with anyone, like at all, which is not like us in January. We've normally got somebody, 44-year-old lined up who's playing over in bloody China. Yes, I am on about Odunigalo a couple of seasons ago. The last season is Veghorst. Like, we just have this habit of bringing in quite average strikers on 6-month loan deals, etc. And so, yeah, we're not being linked to anyone at the minute, which I don't think is a bad thing. Our season is pretty much gonna just peter out with nothing to show for it. We're still in the FA Cup, which some teams can't claim to be. But who knows? We could go out to Newport in the next round. Wouldn't surprise me at all. In terms of the manager, Ten Hag, do I see him being there long term, i.e. past the end of the season? I don't know. I mean, we got the new owners, didn't we? Ineos, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who I didn't want. I wanted the Saudi Arabians. I think Saudi Arabia, the boat came from. I want him in charge. I mean, look at the money he's got. Look what they've done for City, their owners. Newcastle's owners being a bit more responsible, but they're still in good hands if they stick around. And we end up with Jim. I mean, that says it all, don't it? Who's your big, big financial funder, bloke, whatever you want to call him, coming in to take over and take you forward? Oh, it's Jim. Yeah. It fills me with no confidence at all. We've sent out a few players. Pelestri's on his way out on loan. The other lad's gone off to Benfica, I believe. The left back. Could have done with him. I mean, Malasio's injured. Luke Shaw has injury problems. Could have done with this other lad. Is it Fernandez? I think so. Being given a chance. Amad Diallo going out on loan to Middlesbrough or Sunderland, I think. Which, he had a great season at Sunderland last season. Would have been good to see him. Now he's back fit, given a chance at United, but who knows? Don't know if that's going to happen. Instead, we're stuck with Anthony. Wow. What a waste of money. He is a Mason Mount. Where the hell is he at? He never seems to be fit. Oh, we just waste so much money at our club. Anyway, it's January. Let's have a little talk about who's going where and whatnot. So, Chelsea's still in a striker. They've been linked with Ivan Toney, as have Arsenal. I don't believe Toney leaves in this window. He owed it to Brentford to repay them for sticking by him after his ban for gambling. So I didn't believe he was ever going to go anywhere myself. Because it would have been a bit shitty. Oh yeah, I've just missed like half a season because I couldn't stop gambling. By the way, I now want to leave and go off and help Arsenal challenge for the title. He'll get his move at the end of the season. He won't get a move before, in my opinion anyway. Chelsea are also being linked with, John Duran, the lad at Aston Villa, the forgotten man at Aston Villa. I mean, if you're going to go and sign a Villa striker in your Chelsea, surely it's Ollie Watkins. I know it's going to cost you a lot of money, but Xhaka is it the lad at Sporting Lisbon, signed from Coventry. I mean, his bloody goal return is bonkers. So he was at Cov, and then he got a move. I think Wolves was into him at one point. Anyway, he ended up at Sporting Lisbon, where this season he scored 20 goals in 24 games. I think they played last night off and he scored now, but what a return. And he cost them, I believe, 25 million quid. I could be wrong. And he has a buyout clause of like 100 million, with Coventry due to get, I think, 10% of that. So fair play to them. They're doing business right where Coventry are. Whether he could do it in the Prem, I don't know. I've never seen him play, I've got to be honest. But Chelsea have been linked to him. I can't see them spending 100 million in January on a striker. I really can't. But I did see absolutely bonkers story how Chelsea want up to 50 million quid for Ahmad Broja, the striker who can't score a goal. Wolves and Fulham have both been linked to him. They've been linked with loan moves, I believe. Chelsea is said to only be interested in a permanent sale and would expect up to 50 million quid. I was like, are you joking? I mean, I know papers talk a lot of shite sometimes, like all this stuff about Juve being interested in Calvin Phillips. Okay. When I heard it the other day, the story was Juve were put off by the money that they were being asked for, just for a loan deal. I see him like 7 million quid for a loan deal, and Juve like, yeah, you're having a laugh, ain't you? But now it looks like West Ham are in talks for Calvin Phillips, but Palace as well also want him, don't they? I mean, it all depends where he's going to get them up, where he get game time at either club. Neither are exactly flying in the league at the minute. Both have British managers, so he'll definitely be given, back into getting the team, etc., and a chance to get in the England team. But let's be honest, he could sit in the C reserves for the next 6 months. He's still getting in the England team. This is Southgate. He picks anyone. Like, they don't even have to play anymore to get a game in the England team at a major tournament. Like that silliness with Jordan Henderson. The lad literally gave up football. Jordan Henderson did. When he moved to Saudi Arabia, he was saying, yes, money's more important than football. And Southgate obviously gave him his backing and his blessing. Yeah, you go to Saudi, Jordan. You go over there and pick up your $500,000 a week or whatever he was on. Don't worry about it. And if you want to go play Sunday League football, I'll still pick you for England. No other international manager would get away with doing that. Picking Calvin Phillips, who doesn't play, has only played a handful of games at City, yet he's still picked for England. Jordan Henderson wasn't playing for Liverpool really, was playing in a crap league in Saudi when he moved, was still picked for England. Crazy stuff. And yet players who were playing well, i.e. James Ward-Prowse, started the season really well for West Ham, couldn't get a look in. Anyway, this was what made me laugh actually. Yeah, there's another part where the baby just talks so much shit. So Palace and Newcastle are interested in Calvin Phillips, as are Atletico Madrid and Barcelona. That's what they're telling us here in the paper. Barcelona and Atletico Madrid want Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips, who isn't good enough to get in the City team, but is good enough for Barcelona or Atletico Madrid. Christ almighty. Give them some credit. Bayern Munich are interested in Kieran Trippier. Now, I know they've got a little English contingent going on. They've got Harry Kane, they've got Eric Dyer. You could even say they've got Musiala Musiala, who is half English, and they stole him from us. The Germans did, that is. But apparently they're now interested in Kieran Trippier. I mean, I can see why. I don't think they're too happy with their option at right back at the minute. Pavard was sold, wasn't he? And Kimmich, who's not a right back, really plays more in the middle, in the central midfield these days. He's apparently looking at moving on. And yeah, apparently they're after Kieran Trippier. I can't see Newcastle selling him. That's all, to be fair. Spurs are after Club Bruges winger Antonio Nusa. Never heard of him. But Spurs seem to do really well at transfers since Ange came in, so if they go for this lad, they obviously fancy him. Solanke, yes, Solanke's been mentioned, hasn't he? I feel with Dominic Solanke, he's going to be one of them ones where it's a case of he's in good form for Bournemouth, but you could go and spend 60, 70, 80 million on him, be overcharged by about 50 million quid, and he'll go back to the old Dominic Solanke, who is pretty shite, if we're all being honest about it. I could really see Tottenham doing something stupid like that, forking out a lot of money on Solanke, and then you get him, and he's just, oh, look at that, Solanke from 2-3 years ago in the Premier League, who call it Bando, when really should be forking out for Ivan Toney, who I don't think would struggle in a better team. Troy Deeney's been sacked as well, guys. You should probably know that from Forest Green, which is quite hilarious. I don't mind Troy Deeney, but I don't think he is cut out to be a manager somehow. Always ranting and raving into the press about his players. Like, just keep it indoors, mate, or behind closed doors. You don't have to tell everyone how crap your team is, because guess what? Your own players are going to see these interviews and hear these reports of you slating them all, and then they're going to not want to play for you. Funny how that happens. Steven Gerrard, it's a proud moment. That's the quote from him, as he signs a new contract until 2027, despite a winless run. Listen to this, we're in January now, January 19th. He hasn't won a game for Al Ittifaq, the team that John Henderson's just left. He's not won a game for them since October. They've just given him a new deal till 2027. What the hell? No one Henderson wanted out. He's probably like, oh, you're keeping him on, are you? Oh, we've not won since October. And he's staying on. Yeah, I'm going to go now, thank you. He's gone off to Ajax, Henderson, hasn't he? He's going to be their biggest ever earner. 85 grand, rising to 110 grand. When you think of some of the players Ajax have had over the years, and they're getting away with paying less than that to them, it just goes to show the level that the Dutch league is at in terms of finances, but just how well they do to get very, very good players for dirt cheap, and then sell them on for stupid money to United, i.e. Anthony. Joe Linton in standoff with Newcastle over his contract. They could do get him signed up. I heard the other day they'll have to sell one of their better players this summer. I mean, you look at, I don't think Joe Linton would be one that other teams would necessarily be battering down the door to sign, because I think he works for Newcastle. He works bloody well for Newcastle in that midfield role. I don't think other big teams would be looking and thinking, we need Joe Linton in our team, we'll pay 100 million from now. Alexander Isak, he was very good, and he's somebody that could get a lot of money for. But I do think it'll be Bruno Guimaraes, who, I mean, they're already after a bloke at Atalanta, I think it is. I think his name now. But he's also Brazilian and plays in a similar role to Bruno. I reckon they'll try and sign him and sell Bruno to the highest bidder, probably PSG. Real Madrid believe Bellingham is key to landing Haaland. Why was the connection there? There's a friendship between Bellingham and Haaland. I really don't think Haaland cares. If Real Madrid wanted him, he'd go. You know, eventually, when he's ready to leave City, I don't think he'd care if Jude Bellingham's there or not. Fulham searched for Palhinha replacement. Yeah, seen they'd offered 30 million for this lad, Andre. And as soon as I seen that, I was like, yep, Palhinha's gone into the season. They're getting in a ready-made replacement now. Makes sense. Get someone in now for like 25, 30 million, and then sell on Palhinha for 60 million or whatever you can get for him to Bayern at the end of the season. What else we got going on here? Simone Inzaghi admits Inter Milan are looking at a striker. Who's there at the minute? Obviously Lukaku said about Martinez indeed. Martinez is still an Inter Milan striker. Sheko, he's there at Inter, I believe. Quite old now though, Sheko is, Eddie Sheko. Imagine that. All them years ago when he was at City and he first came in and he's looked clumsy and awkward and everyone was saying what the hell they bought here. Then he got good for City. If I told you back then he'd still be going like 10 years later or whatever it is, he'd have had a great career at Roma. He'd now be scoring goals for Inter. Most people probably laughed. I would have laughed about that idea, but he's had a pretty good career, Edin Dzeko. Very good player for City. Would he go down as not a legend, but like a cult, a hero, possibly? He's got a lot of important goals for them. But yeah, there's a lot of deals to be done. I don't think we'll get any massive deals done in this window. I just don't see clubs being willing to risk it. Some players are offering the Africa Cup of Nations. You got the Asia Cup, is it? Where Son is and Huang for Wolves and various other players. Clubs can't afford to sell at the minute because they haven't got the players there to step in. Most clubs out in the Premier League at least have African players who are off at the Africa Cup of Nations. West Ham have Kudos there, scored 2 goals last night for oh bloody hell, who's it? Not Nigeria. Who are Ivory Coast playing now? Let me look. Ghana. It was Ghana, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. What the hell are you on about? It was Egypt against Ghana, and yeah, Kudos scored 2 for Ghana. So teams just can't afford to sell players at the minute because they haven't got a big enough squad, most of them, due to players being away at major tournaments mid-season. Is so bonkers that clubs just let their players go in mid-season. I know it's a major tournament, it rivals the Euros, etc., but it's still mid-season. Imagine if the Euros were, I know we had it like last year for the World Cup, or the year before, was it? For last cruise, the year before. But the league didn't stop for that, did it? Imagine if the league had to continue with no European players because they all went off to the Euros. We'd be screwed. Anyway guys, let me know who you support in the comments and which players you want to see come in and which players you want to see go. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.